Bizarre times we living in these days. Ego, for Pete's sake, let down Christopher Reeve's legs. Shocking. Controversy. Peculiar. Scandal. Listen, I got some weird news that just came out, and I had to make a video because there's a lot of people that don't know about it, so let Ego show about it. It is. And as always, if you like this kind of content, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button. I am the best in the business, and it's not even close. Now, Ryan Garcia was a special guest on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, and he said something that was rather peculiar regarding his fight this Friday. So, in case you didn't follow my content, they are fighting on Friday, not Saturday, which kind of a weird date for a triple header with some names on it, in my opinion. I always preferred the Saturday fights, but that's just me. And again, if you follow my content, you guys will know I've been rather skeptical of this whole Times Square event. The details that I'm hearing and stuff, I had several questions about it. Like, how would they pull it off? Can they pull it off to the point where it makes sense? A lot of pretty much doubts because it hasn't been done before, and kind of that's to be expected. Now, with what I just heard here, it kind of furthers these doubts, and we'll see how it all plays out. But for me, I don't really understand the point. Like, you're going to put Ryan, Rolly, Devin, and Teofimo, all these guys on the card, but then have no live gate and make it free to the public trying to make this spectacle when you could just do what other cards have done and just put it in a venue and see how well you can do. So I understand the Saudis have money, but it just seems like kind of a waste of money to play it like this, like, and then hope that it's just some big spectacle show that goes on without a hitch. You know what I mean? It's just, there's a lot of ways to misfire. Now, the thing that Ryan said in this interview was bizarre. Let me let you listen to it for starters, and then I'll give my thoughts. Roll the clip.
Where's the locker room in Times Square? Like, do you know where you'll actually be getting your hands wrapped, warming up, things like that?
I think we're going to be in like a place, a couple blocks away, and then we're going to get to the fight via taxi cab. It's going to be crazy.
That is unbelievable.
So you heard from Ryan Garcia. He said they got to catch a cab. He said he got to catch a taxi. It is. He catching a taxi to his own fight. Madness. Like, they couldn't give my boy an Uber X or, some kind of charter bus or a Sprinter. They said he got to call Jamie Foxx in Collateral. What the hell? I don't know, man, because I consider myself a creative. Like, I am a creative, and I am a creative person since a child, and I think of all kinds of crazy ideas, but I ain't gonna hold you. Some of the zone ideas, like, that they run and think about, it's just weird. And, like, I don't feel that a lot of the ideas implemented in boxing further or grow or build anticipation for the sport, right? Like, fighting at Alcatraz, what does that do? What is that like? It's not like it's a boxer from San Francisco who's fighting, but just to put a random person in Alcatraz and have him fight on Alcatraz. Like, I mean, it'll be cool for pictures and like photo op type of stuff, but I just feel like they're like weird cockamamie ideas. And a lot of them are coming from, it seems like, Turkey, but we'll see. We'll see how this Times Square stuff plays out. Now, I made a separate video about this. The zone in Turkey and Ring or whatever doing this fight outside, if you look at the forecast, the weather forecast, I made a video about it. Check that video out. The weather is pretty decent every day. And then the last time I checked, the day of the fight, which is Friday, it says the weather is going to be 70% rain, right? Which means 70% of that area will be covered in rain. So I don't know how you really protect against that when it's an outdoor scenario. Even if you have some kind of overhang, an awning, or like any kind of like tarps or whatever to cover the area, you still can't protect against its cold, like the actual temperature. Like there's no heater that you could, I mean, you could put space heaters or like little outdoor heaters, but I don't know, it's going to be hard to control the temperature. And to me, for a boxer, that could be very bad. Cramping of the muscles. I mean, your body locks up. Just do a cold plunge if you don't know what I'm talking about. Do a cold shower if you're not able to access a cold plunge bath, but do a cold shower and see if you're not trained for that, your muscles can lock up. You start chattering. I don't know. You guys, I don't have to go in depth. You guys have been in extreme cold, I'm sure. If you're older than 21 years old, at some point in your life, you probably experienced that, right? So there's a lot of potential, like I said, ways to misfire. And then with Ryan talking about they taking a cab, what if there's traffic? Like roads are blocked off, sections are blocked off, shops are closed down. For me, it kind of seems like more hassle than what it's worth. And there's a lot of people who have money, but they're not really that creative. So what they do is ideas like this, where they take somebody else's idea and try to implement it, but it's not necessarily going to come off the same. Because to me, this is just like a ripoff of the ball drop pause in Times Square for New Year's Eve. They're trying to do that, like the same, block off the sections and Dick Clark show, New Year's Eve show, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much the boxing version of that. But at this point in time, boxing is still a niche sport. Like these aren't the Sugar Ray Leonard days where guys are fighting on ABC, or where Mike Tyson has a Nintendo game and everybody can recognize Mike Tyson's face, right? If you look at the late 80s to the early 90s, you had to know, if you had a TV, right? I'm not talking about if you're Amish and you didn't have no internet, no TV, no way to see anything, but the average American would be able to recognize guys like Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, their faces, right? Even Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, right? For generations after that. But these new boxers, if you show Shakur Stevenson, even Ryan Garcia, Keyshawn Davis, or Teofimo, Rolly, not everyone's going to know who these people are. So to block off the streets and stuff like that, we'll see. I think they might have a walk-up crowd, just like when Canelo was fighting Bivol in Vegas and it's a tourist place and people just see a crowd gathering, so they're going to want to see what the commotion is about and what's going on. However, what is the point in that? Like, you should be trying to attract boxing fans, people who are going to buy DAZN for years to come. People are going to go to other, you're supposed to, like, what's the point of having a crowd, but then you can't sustain it? You see what I'm saying? Like, you want to be able to get that crowd to participate and lifelong customers. Let me know what you guys think. Ryan got to catch a cab. I guess they're catching a cab from blocks away. Pretty weird stuff. The fight surprisingly doesn't have a big buzz, considering that they're putting all this money into it and it has some names on it. Let me know if you guys feel the buzz has been a 10, but I'm not seeing that.